Arigato, arigato, and welcome to my podcast. All right, okay. So anyway, I wanted to talk about feeder workouts and why I find that they're pretty useful. I'll give you an example of some statistics I've gotten from like 2 week waves, 3 week waves of like feeder workout training, and just in case no one knows what a feeder workout is. So traditionally, it's a workout done at a or an exercise done at a very light intensity and high rep range, like something so light that you can't really even strain doing it, right? Traditionally. So, but what happens when you do this is you get a better recovery effect, and you also get like additional volume in your workout as well, and just like efficiency of the movement, right? So all this pretty much seems to like add up to just improving kind of your skill with that movement, with little to no effect on like recovery levels or anything like that. So seems to work really well. So I've got my Instagram open here, and I just want to kind of give an example of what happened when I did a particular feeder workout that included daily hammer rows, daily single arm dumbbell extensions, and daily rows. Okay, so these are the results basically that I got. So now I'm just gonna have a quick read through. Okay, so essentially, if you look, left arm 15, right arm 16. This is after about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks of daily like hammer curl row. Left arm 15, right arm 16. Okay. That went up to right arm became 16.5 to 17.5, and left arm was 16 to 17 inches, so at least a solid inch to inch and a half growth per arm. And now the reason why it's kind of like a huge variability of the measurement there is because arms are actually just really hard to measure. But what I did know for sure is that this was like the lowest measure on my right. This was like the lowest measure on my left. And yeah, I do have like uneven arms. I think that's pretty common anyway. Okay, so like leg measurements, not really worth mentioning, I guess, because it's not really correlated with the feeder workout. Same with glutes. But waist. Now that's going to make a difference, right? Because more muscle at an unchanged body weight will result in a decrease in waist size. So my waist was 34 and it went down to 33.5. However, here's the thing. I didn't have an unchanged body weight. My body weight actually increased by 1.5 kilograms. So I'm telling you that I fucking put 1.5 kilograms of weight on my body with a reduction in my waist in literally 3 to like 3.5 weeks. I swear to God that happened. Now I'm looking at this now and I'm even surprised to hear that. But like the truth is that like super high volume, like feeder workouts, volume in the sense of like frequency, like done every day, will kind of produce you results like this. So essentially I would progressively overload these movements. So like this is what I do, right? The rep range was really high, like sets of like 30. So what I would do is I started at a weight that I could do 30 reps for on each movement. And then when I could hit 30 reps for 3 sets, I then would add the smallest amount of weight. And then usually that I would only be able to get 20 reps. But then after a few days, that would eventually become 30. And then I'd add another small amount of weight and repeat. So after doing this for 3 weeks, I put on a lot of mass, a lot of size, and a lot of strength in my biceps, triceps, and back. So here I will show you essentially, the start of the experiment, this is what I look like, and the weight I have here is 65 kilos, which I did for 30 reps for 3 sets, and look, a bit of momentum in my body there. That's okay, like it's still pretty like strong, I would consider that. Hammer curl 12 times 30 times 3, and 12 times 25 times 3. Okay, so this was week 1. Now 3.5 weeks later, now that looks like that's probably like 80 kilos on the row now for sets of 30, 100%. I swear to God, that's sets of 30. Dumbbell much heavier there. Probably about like a kilo added there. But I think I was doing sets of 50 actually. And then look how much heavier that kettlebell is. So that's like significantly heavier and just generally looking thicker. Like, look at the difference between how I look in November 8th, 2019, October 31st, 2019. So this was from feeder workouts. This is how I got like really, really quick progress. Now, it's not like a shortcut or anything, but it actually sort of is. But the one downside is that, like, the thing is that you can receive these really good results, but to do these things, I feel like it kind of can lose its momentum maybe after like 3 to 4 weeks. So I think the smart thing to do is to kind of implement these movements into your program at like a much lower amount of frequency throughout the week to kind of maintain those results you've worked for. And then so what you've gotten out of that is you've just gotten like a really, really big boost of strength and muscle in like a 3-week period. Now I find that this doesn't work for like every movement. Like, I don't think this is something that would work for like deadlifts. I don't think this would work super well for like deep squats. Simply because these are like multi-jointed big range movements. What I'm doing here, these are like really short range. Well, I wouldn't say that's short range, but like it's not to be compared to the range of like a deadlift or a squat. In certain pressing movements, it doesn't really work that well, like bench, shoulder press, things like that. This style of training doesn't really work that well for it, but things associated with like your lats, your back muscles, your pulling muscles, and your triceps, muscle groups like that seems to work really well for. So if you're interested in trying that out, like, I've only ever seen good results from it, so that's why I wanted to share. It's very unconventional. Not a lot of people do it. I actually got the idea from Rich Pianas, funnily enough. So he basically kind of popularized the feeder workout thing. So he should probably be the first person that pops up if I type that in. There you go. So he popularized that, and essentially it was for arms. And I know, right? Like what am I doing? Like, following the advice of someone on like fucking shit tons of gear. But at the end of the day, like, the guy was convincing, and I tried it and it worked. So what can you say? And that's another thing. So people will discount advice on people on like heaps of gear, and they'll just use the excuse of, oh, well, they're on heaps of gear, so like the gear gave them the results they did, which is true, but doesn't mean that they don't have knowledge to share. You know what I mean? All right, let's check this out. Oh, talking is hard.
Feeder workouts. I did another video on feeder workouts approximately, 4, 5, 6 months ago. Now, feeder workouts is probably the best advice I've ever put out there on the internet. And I don't think very many people were aware of it. Basically what it is it's doing a short, quick, high rep pump in the muscle the day after you train that muscle. Now, this is my second feeder.
So his philosophy was, this is related to after the training day. So like, let's say you do legs, short, high rep thing for your legs, low weight. Now, what I did was I just picked 3 movements and I just did them every day. So it's not exactly the same thing, but like, it produced really good results, as you saw.
feeder workout video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little more information, a little more helpful information on feeder workouts. And my theory is pumping as much muscle in the blood as you can as often as possible will actually help the muscle grow. Every time your muscle gets a pump, you're putting fresh oxygen, fresh blood into the muscle, and it's feeding the muscle. And it's also, the muscle is continually be pumped. The more often it's pumped, bigger and bigger, it's sort of sending a signal to the body to grow. We need this muscle bigger. And every time you pump blood into it, it expands. And my theory is the more often you give the muscle to pump, the quicker it's going to grow. So, pumping that muscle up as often as possible, not tearing the tissue down, just getting a nice pump, 2 to 3 sets of, maybe 20 to 50 reps. Maybe sometimes even 100 reps, but that would be 1 or 2 sets, is really going to help the muscle grow. Just constantly putting those nutrients and blood in the muscle is going to really help in the growth. And there was a time when for 2 years straight, I would do feeder arm workouts every night before I went to bed. Every night for 2 years straight, I did a feeder.
So that's pretty much exactly what I did for rows and arms for that 3-week period. Now I actually did this like a few years before even that. And I did that for like 3 months, and I made insane gains, as you can imagine. So this style of training is really effective, but it's just that my main issue I ran into was like understanding what to do when I didn't want to continue doing feeder workouts, and how do I keep the strength that I worked for. So that's what I struggled with. But now that I feel like I have a better knowledge base of just understanding like total work being done, and just I'm really good at tracking like total tonnage for the year and weeks and months and things like that. I feel like there's a lot to be gained from doing like training cycles that involve like feeder workouts for like, power lifters, bodybuilders, definitely bodybuilders. But yeah, just anyone in general. And what I found is these workouts are really short. Like it's like 3 movements for me. You're only actually meant to do 2, like just buys, tries. But you can do this for anything. And to keep rambling on, so even Brett Contreras has a similar philosophy for like glute training, about like constantly like pumping. But you don't hear like a lot of bodybuilders or like powerlifters or whatever like really like preach this philosophy. Because it's, it's out of the norm of, like the style of training that they would go for, but it would actually really help with that. In my opinion, like if there are, like lats and triceps, if you can beef the fuck out of them, that's only going to like help your bench, help your deadlift, help your squat. Lats at least somewhat. Lat strength would help, but these are things that are only going to help. And they're feeder workouts. They're done a bit lighter. They're not overly really going to affect recovery. I've only noticed positive effects from doing these things. I never suffered any loss in strength doing a feeder workout. But anyway.
Feeder workout. I do 3 sets of biceps and 3 sets of triceps, 100 reps each. And I did that for 2 years straight. And I have to say that I saw some serious growth during those 2 years. And again, it's not known. People don't know about it. Most people have never tried it, but try feeder workouts. I would say pick a body part, do a feeder workout once or twice a day for that body part every single day, and I guarantee you're going to see incredible results. Hope this helps.
Yeah, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I just decided to try it, and it worked really well. Now, this video was made in 2014. I didn't really try that till like 2016. But but what happened was it worked really well, and I put on like a shit ton of muscle in a really short amount of time. The only issue I ran into with what I said was before was like, how do I like maintain that strength after I've finished doing feeder workouts? Because like feeder workouts year round can be hard. But because it's like an everyday thing. So like, how do you, like, I'm talking weekends and shit. I'm sure you can do a situation where it's only 5 times a week, but I found like it was really effective when it was every day. And yeah, like most people just in reality probably can't do that every day because of commitments and shit. But yeah, like if you want like a better than those most people gains, give it a try. For your next block of training or whatever, just add in like feeder arm shit, and I guarantee your strength won't go down, and you would have like packed on some size. It's an extra 15 minutes to your workout max. So by all means, try it. So the only reason I'm sharing it is because it worked really well for me, and it's something unconventional that a lot of people don't do. So yeah, thanks for watching this far in the video. That's pretty much all I got to say on that today. Hope it has been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.